Another question that I find super interesting, and I'm thinking of your having said that, of course, there are at least a handful of non-Asian Americans who come to you and report. Sometimes they've witnessed something, and it may well be, I'm sure it's true in many cases, that they've witnessed something that the subjects of that, or the victims of the action, have not themselves reported. And this is related. A question about, how do you get your Asian American family members to take action and not, quote, keep their heads down, unquote, or, quote, look the other way, unquote?
Well, that's a great question. And thank you to the audience member who asked it. And, I think it is worth sort of unpacking a little bit. There are a lot of reasons for people not reporting, right? Let's look at what those reasons are. It could be lack of language access, challenges with technology. There are a number of folks in our communities who, may not feel that comfortable with English and, don't feel that they can, go forward and report to law enforcement or other governmental authorities. So I think those are a couple of the key features. I think also trust, right? How have government institutions shown that they can be trusted by Asian American communities? Even in Atlanta, for example, it's a question of whether law enforcement took with them individuals, law enforcement officers who speak Korean, speak Mandarin or Cantonese. Because I will tell you, some of what has been reported in the Korean media has not been reported here in the United States, which is that the perpetrator, in fact, did say, I want to kill Asians, or I want to kill Asian women. And so why was that not included in the press conference? One wonders if it had to do with the language access issues. And then I think what you're sharing too, Andrew, is important, which is, in many of our cultures, there is this sort of sentiment that the nail that sticks out will get hammered, right? So not drawing attention to yourself, just doing sort of what is needed for your work, for your family. I don't want to overstate it because I don't think that's everything that's going on in this moment, but that can have an impact. And I think too, how will it be received? Even within your family. I've seen too many times within my extended family when I've experienced discrimination, and I've talked about it, including, for example, with Airbnb and getting a house to rent. And I mentioned it to an uncle and he said, oh, are you sure? And luckily, because I'm a former civil rights attorney, I said, yeah, I'm damn sure. Because I know what that looks like. I know what discrimination looks like and all of the components of it. But sometimes our extended family, maybe because they're in denial or because it's too traumatic for them, may look for alternative explanations. And that's not actually helpful or supportive in this moment. We really need to listen, as Anastasia has said, listen to those who are saying that they've experienced it and just create space. I will tell you, a number of reporters that I've spoken to and even colleagues have said that someone in their family just let them know after Atlanta that an incident had happened a year ago, 9 months ago. So there is quite a bit of trauma that's preventing people from speaking. Now, on the other hand, what I want to point to is two important pieces here. We've done a survey with the American Psychologists Association of our respondents, and we found that one of the top reasons actually for reporting to Stop AAPI Hate, which is, as you pointed out, Melissa, the nation's leading aggregator of this data, is because of civic duty. And to think about that and how heartening it is that people feel that sense of civic duty, they know that this is something that's happening right now, and they want it to be understood and they want it to be solved. And toward that end, what I want to just really highlight for folks is this can be a galvanizing moment for our community. We've seen people speak up in the last few weeks in a way that they haven't before, or perhaps they haven't gotten the attention when they've spoken up. I've seen, for example, Margaret Cho, the famous actress, say that, look, her family gave her an anglicized name because they were really worried that nobody would say it and that she would get bullied for having a Korean name. I've heard on Twitter from adoptees who have white parents and really listing out ways in which they've been discriminated and never shared it with their parents. We've heard a lot from a number of women's advocates talking about that hypersexualization of Asian women, really across now 2 centuries. So I think this is an opportunity for all of us to name what's going on, to claim our experiences in a really bold way, and to begin to demand an investment from our lawmakers into what we need for our communities moving forward. We need policies, we need change, and we need healing for each and every one of us.
Mm-hmm.